Um, I've been billed as the keynote speaker, and that's got me really, really worried now. But I'll try and just say a few words about choices, and I guess the journey that we're on as a hospital, and really just to kind of soak in your contribution today, because I have to say, I've had a really, really busy day. And I came in about 8 o'clock this morning. I've been doing things sort of on the run, and I was hoping to get down here sooner, and it just wasn't possible. But as I got along the corridor, right from right from the far end of the corridor, you could feel the buzz. You could hear the chatter. You could feel the energy, and I think that was incredible. And when I came through the door here, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe how many people there were who'd pitched up today, who'd gotten involved, who've clearly put a massive amount of effort into the presentations and the stalls and the kind of exposition of all of the work that you're doing. So I have to say, I'm absolutely bowled over. I can't believe it. I think a lot of you will have heard me talk from time to time about what I think the big challenges are facing the hospital, and all of you that have been on the Choices programme, for example, will have had an opportunity to talk to me about it. But I never like to miss an opportunity when there are groups of our staff present, really just to talk a little bit about the journey that we're on. And I'm conscious that you don't want to listen to me for too long, so I'll be brief. And anybody who knows me will know that that's quite a struggle for me, but I will try and be brief. But it's funny, I've not been at the hospital very long. I came here about 1.5 years ago, and there's some things that I feel really strongly about when I think about my role in the hospital. And this is going somewhere, because all of the work that you're doing, I think, says to me that I've kind of come to the right place. And you sometimes wonder when you start a new job, but your presence here and all of the things that you're doing says to me, you've come to the right place. And over the last year, you've probably heard me say a few things, really, that for me the most important thing that we do is care for our patients. And at the end of the day, that's the number one priority for me. That's the reason why we're here. That's the reason why all of us joined this organisation or got involved in the health service way back whenever it was. And that's the reason why I work here and I don't work in a supermarket or whatever. Because what we do for patients is really, really important, and it really matters. I think the second thing that's fundamental is that if you're going to do your community justice and look after the patients in the way they deserve to be looked after, then you're only going to do that if you've got your staff engaged and involved. Now, you've answered that question. I mean, my question is, do I think the staff in this hospital are engaged in meeting that kind of that ambition to deliver the best possible care for our patients? And just looking at the number of people in this room and the things that you've done just answers that question, and it's overwhelming. So I guess I just want to say thank you for that. But what you're doing is absolutely worthwhile. So there's something about how do we make the Royal a great place for patients? How do we make it a great place to work? But in an environment that we know is really challenging. So if you think about it, we all know what's happening in the economy. And just hands up, has anybody ever heard me mention the Royal Triangle? Thank you. But as you know, I mean, the Royal Triangle really is about the kind of 3 big ticket issues that we have to manage as people involved in delivering healthcare. And it's not just the challenges that face this hospital; it's the challenges that face the whole NHS, and that, in fact, face every health system in the world. And it's how do you balance the desire to provide good quality care with a limited financial envelope. And we all know what's happening in the economy, we know what the challenges are, but the answer is actually to look at the way that you deliver your services and try and find ways of delivering care for patients that makes the quality better, but at the same time helps us to manage that financial pressure. Now that's a really, really difficult thing to do, and the scale of the challenge that we're facing in our NHS is we're trying to achieve something that's never been done before. So what you're engaged in is a mission to solve a problem that's never been solved. Now, I like a challenge, So you know, we've clearly got a challenge. But what your presence here says to me is that you're all up for the challenge. So we're trying to manage the Royal Hospital. We've got quality as the organising principle, but we know we had to redesign our services and do things differently, and that's what we're all here to celebrate today. So I applaud you for that. I guess one of the other things that I talk quite a bit about is about leadership. And a lot of people, talk about leadership. What is leadership? And some people think that a leader is somebody who's able to get people to follow them, or that's what a leader's all about. I mean, for me, leadership is a different thing. I think that leadership is a choice. It's a choice that you make to be a leader, and that choice is basically when you decide to stop being a spectator, describing the problems and the challenges, and you choose to get on the pitch and take responsibility for the solutions. And what this is saying to me today, that all of you are leaders, all of you have made that leadership choice. You've decided, you recognize what needs to be done, but rather than just describing, you've decided to get involved in the solution. So you are all leaders. And I think, with that leadership comes responsibility. And there is something about, it's great to be here today, but it's just about thinking, what happens when we leave this room today? What do we do when we go back out in the organisation? And I guess my challenge to you is to use the power of your leadership to help us realise that ambition, which is fantastic care for our patients. And I'm going to ask you, will you do that? I mean, does that sound like a reasonable challenge? Is that something that you would want to do? There's a few nods and a few yeses, but you're all too polite. I'm going to kind of finish now, but all I have to say is I'm absolutely overwhelmed. I can't believe how fantastic this is. I'm going to spend a little bit of time and have a wander around and get to see some of the projects, but even just coming through the door, I've picked up so much. I've just managed to avoid the ED sisters who are just trying to get me into a CBRN suit, but I suspect that might not last. They might catch up with me. But I will spend some time and have a look around. But I just want to thank you, one, for the work that you've done. And it's not work you've done for me or for the hospital. It's work you've done for the patients. So it really matters. But what I do want to thank you for is the choice you've made through your work to be leaders. So let's use that leadership for the benefit of our patients and to make our hospital the best possible place to come if you're a patient, but also, hey, let's make it a fantastic place to work. Thank you.